Okay, let's go ahead and start off with our essential question. How can you use inequalities to describe the relationships among side lengths and angle measures in a triangle? Okay, good. So obviously, I looked at everything before I started recording. So basically, this whole unit is just about triangle inequalities, okay? And they're just trying to talk to you about basic things. Like if you have three triangles, and let's say this measures, okay, let's use these units over here. Let's say this is 8, and let's say this is 4. Well, then how long can this be? It could be like really small like that, okay? Or it could be like really long on that side, okay? Even if it's the same 8 and the same 4, okay? This one's kind of long, but anyhow, I think you get the idea. All right, so they're trying to figure out if one side is 8 inches long and the other side is 4 inches long, how small or how long can this side be? Okay, and so again, if you look over here, it would just show you first, you would draw line A, okay, AB, segment AB, I mean, and then, we'll draw segment BC, okay. Then once we do that, when we open up segment BC, we can put segment BC anywhere. We can put point C here, okay, as you can see. You can put point C, in this picture they put point C over here, but see, this is the same length, this is 4 inches long, and so if you decided to put the point here and draw a triangle like this, that is not really a problem at all. In the same way, you can actually put a point like over here, point C over here instead of this one, and then you will be able to draw another triangle that's like really wide and skinny, right? Or you can put point C like right here and make another triangle just like that, okay? But they just decided to pick a point C here and draw this kind of triangle, okay? And so that is what the lesson is all about, okay? So you got to think, where cannot point C be? I don't know if that makes sense. But obviously, if point C is right here, you cannot create a triangle. It's just a segment, right? So that's not going to work. And obviously, if point C was like right here, where it forms 180 degrees right here, then obviously that won't be a triangle. It's just a segment, a longer segment, right? So other than this point and that point, I'm guessing you can put point C anywhere, and it will be just fine. Let me see, what happens if you put a point here, C? That's okay, you can still create a triangle. What about over here? Well, what if you put a point, right here? Well, that's still fine because you can go ahead and create a triangle like that, right? So again, you can put that point anywhere except for those 2 points, okay? So then it's going to tell you to do some exercises. As you can see, I already did it. And so when I first looked at this, I'm like, what the heck is this? But you got to remember, you have to look at the question from here. AB is 8 inches and segment BC is 4 inches long. So I started off by writing all that down. AB is 8, BC is 4, and it says over here that AC is 6.5 inches. So I put that first, and then I followed this. What is segment AB plus BC? Well, when I add these two, I got 12. What's BC plus AC? BC and AC, when I added those two together, I got 10.5. What is AC plus AB? AC and AB, when I add them together, I got 14.5, right? Another thing that I want you to notice as you see this is that, you know how when you add them together, this number is always bigger than that number, okay? This number, when you add these two segments, is always bigger than that number. And again, when you add these two, this number is bigger than that, okay? That is called the Triangle Inequality Theorem, okay? But anyhow. So then now they give you another exercise. It says, as AC approaches how long when point C approaches AB. So as you can see, when point C is here, it's going to be like really long, but as it keeps coming down to over here, it gets really short and short and short to a point when it gets here, it's going to be really short. And so how long is that going to be? Well, it's going to be as short as 4 inches, okay? How did I figure that out? Because if you look over here, BC is 4 inches, right? So if it comes all the way down, it's pretty much going to be the same length as this one, okay? So that's going to be how long AC is going to be when point C gets down here, okay? Which is kind of weird, I know. But just stay with me. Same thing, what is the value of AC going to be as point C goes here? So this time, point C, you know, if it was like a straight line, it would add up to be how many? AB was 8 and BC was 4, so A plus 4 is 12, right? So that's another thing that you have to keep in mind, okay? The length of the third side can be anywhere in between 4 inches and 12 inches, meaning the length of the smallest side, okay? So greater than the length of the smallest side, but still smaller than the length of the two other sides added together. Okay. Come on, I'm trying to move on to the next part. There you go. So now we can go ahead and use the triangle inequality theorem because I just told you what that was, right? So there you go. This is another good thing that you might want to have in your notes or cheat sheet or something. Because I just wanted to remind you that your next assessment is going to be on Wednesday because in module 15 we're only doing 3 sections, so this is the last section for this module. Alright, so triangle inequality theorem. The sum of any two side lengths of a triangle is greater than the third side length, okay? So we already practiced that in the previous section, which basically means AB plus BC. If you add these two sides together, it's always going to be greater than the opposite side. Same thing, BC plus, okay, so that's just common sense. Well, not really, but we explored and we figured it out, okay? So you can use the triangle inequality theorem to test if a triangle can have 3 sides of given length, okay? So which ones will be would make a triangle? Let's see. 7 plus 15 is 22, and 22 is bigger than 17. Okay, so that's good. But what about if we add these two together? It's obviously going to be bigger than 7. What about if we add these two together? Yeah, it's going to be bigger than 15, so this is correct. 7 plus 9 is 16, and 18 is bigger than 16. That's not going to work out. When we add the two sides together, it always has to be bigger than the other side. So this is not the correct answer. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and erase it because I know that's not correct. What about this one? 2 plus 6 is still smaller than 21, so that's not going to work either. What about this one? 4 plus 8 is 12, and 12 is bigger than 10. Okay, that's good. Now let's check the other. 8 plus 10 is 18, and that's greater than 4. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be according to the triangle inequality theorem. And when we add 10 and 4, that's 14, and it's still greater than 8. So these two are the correct answers. So I'm going to go ahead and check my answer, and I was right. So go ahead and watch this video because he teaches you step by step, although you already saw it with me right now. And so this is a question that you have to solve. It's the exact same question as I solved right now. So now we're going to move on to the next section. This is the next concept, as you can see. Now we're going to talk about the possible side lengths in a triangle. So you can go ahead and work on all of these on your own. It's basically saying if you have two sides in a triangle, you can basically talk about how long this side is going to be. Okay. So then they make you do some calculations using the triangle inequality theorem. Obviously, when you add 6 and 5 together, that has to be greater than the x. And also same thing, x plus 6 has to be greater than 5, and that's this one. And x plus 5, which is x plus 5, also has to be greater than 6. And so when you solve it, you subtract 5 from both sides, subtract 6 from both sides, and then this one, the answer is already given to you. You get 3 possible values, right? But we cannot have negative side lengths. So all we know is that the length of x can be in between what? 1 and 11. Because as you can see over here, x is greater than 1 and x is less than 11. Okay, so the length of x can be anywhere in between. Could be like really, really small, and this could be only 1 unit long, or it could be really, really long, not a straight line, maybe like that. And this could end up being maybe like 11, not quite 11, but like 10.99, and this, it has to be greater than 1, so it has to be like 1.001 at least. Okay, all right. So then obviously I wrote my answer that the length of x has to be in between 1 and 11. And so you can go ahead and use common sense over here. Do you see the relationship? This is really funny, right? So when you add these two sides together, you get 11, and that's the maximum length that you can get. And when you subtract it, 6 minus 5, you get 1, and that's the minimum length that you can get. All right? And so this is like a little trick that you can use to solve this. But again, tricks are good for nothing if you don't understand how and why, okay? So please make sure that you understand the previous parts, like right here that we went over, how we figured out the answer using the triangle inequality theorem. But once you understand that, you can use the little trick I just showed you. So then this question becomes really easy. As you can see, I already put my answer in there. When you add these two together, 23 plus 23 is 46. And so x has to be in between. And then when you take away, subtract, 23 minus 23 is 0. So the x value has to be anywhere in between 0 to 46. There's no equal sign because you cannot have a length of 0. Then it's just going to be a straight line, right? So it's greater than, meaning the shortest length possible is going to be 0.00, I don't know, like you can add a million zeros and then 01. Okay? Very important stuff. Watch the video if you didn't understand me, because Mr. Burger is so awesome. Now, this is the same thing, right? I already put in the answer because, you know, it's so easy. But yeah, 20 plus 12 is 32, and 20 minus 12 is 8. So I just put in my answer. The length of x can be anywhere in between 8 to 32 units long. And when you check your answer, it's going to tell you it's correct, okay? So then, of course, look at Mr. Burger. The next thing, I don't know why, but I don't know if I'm like mistaken or something, but this one basically says that if AC is longer than BC, the measure of angle B is, okay, so this is what it means. You see how long this is? Then that means this angle is big. Bigger than what? We're talking about AC and BC. So you see how BC is shorter than AC? So you know what? The angle opposite that, which is the measure of angle A, is going to be smaller. Okay? So the red is going to be smaller. And then the blue is going to be bigger. And what is the reason for that? It's very simple. There's only one reason. Because AC, this line is longer than this one. So if you have a longer line, the angle opposite the longer line is going to be bigger or fatter. And this is a shorter line, the red line. So the angle opposite the red line is going to be skinnier. All right? So then because you know this information, then all you have to do is, you can already tell. What is the longest side? 30. So then what do you think is going to be the fattest angle? The angle opposite that, which is angle B. So angle B is going to be the fattest one. Don't forget, alligator mouth is open. I know you don't like being treated like babies, but I'm drawing an alligator. It looks like a snake actually. But alligator is trying to eat this, which means this is bigger. Okay, and this has to be smaller and smaller. Okay, so 30 is the biggest, so angle B is the fattest. And then the middle side, is 24. So opposite of segment CB is what? Yes, angle A. So that one's gonna be in the middle. And then of course, measure of angle C is gonna be the smallest one because opposite that angle is segment AB, and that has the shortest length. Okay, so it's very easy. And so I don't have to really explain how to solve this your turn question. And then over here it's the same thing. I'm like really excited because these lessons are so easy. My only concern is that you guys are not really watching the videos, but it's up to you. Just make sure you study because I have views and all that stuff. Okay. Ordering a triangle side lengths given is angle measure. So now this one is the opposite of the other one. In concept 4, what did we talk about? We talked about having a triangle, okay? And we talked about how this side is really long, and so this angle is fat. And we talked about how this side is short, and so this angle is skinny, right? But over here, they're talking the opposite. This time they're talking about if the angle is small, okay, we have a triangle. And if the angle is small, now we're gonna say, oh, this side is short because the angle is small. Because the angle is so big over here, so fat, the segment on the opposite side is going to be longer than the blue line. Okay, and that's all it is. It's the same exact thing. So now this time notice how they didn't give us how long the segments are. They only gave us the measures of the angle. So what's the fattest angle? The 100 degrees. So what's opposite the 100-degree angle? Segment AC. So segment AC is going to be the longest side. So AC is going to be the longest side. And of course, the smallest one is angle A, and opposite of angle A is segment BC. So segment BC is going to be the shortest one, and of course, this would be in the middle, right? And that's pretty much it. Alright, so do your homework question and we are done for today. I'm hoping that you'll spend a lot of time on the boards because we're going to have a review day on Tuesday, and on Wednesday is going to be your assessment for Module 15. Have a great day. Goodbye.